r/askreddit. What is a cause of death you certainly don't want to die from? John Jones, who got stuck upside down in a super tight cave passage in Utah and rescuers couldn't get him out. So they had to just let him die and then sealed the cave up. Yeah. Not my ideal bucket kicking. I'm so glad I quit caving after my birth. Well, I found the comments that made me regret going in this thread. Sounds terrifying. I can't take being upside down for 10 seconds without feeling extremely uncomfortable in my head. I can't imagine being like that for hours. That's the ultimate not my job moment. Being skinned. A naked man has few secrets, a flayed man, none. House Bolton. I think this just might be my masterpiece. Drown in the mud like soldiers during World War I. Oh fuck that. I heard Dan Carlin's podcast on Passchendaele, and the unmitigated horror of slowly drowning in mud over the course of a few days haunts my sleep. They begged their brothers in arms to shoot them. Passchendaele and Verdun? Rabies. I did some in-depth research a couple years ago and it is utterly horrifying to say the least. If it isn't treated immediately, you're absolutely dead. Glowworms. The way they kill their prey is one of the most painful ways to die in the animal kingdom. They use the silk stands to attract prey, paralyze them, drill a hole in the side of their head and fill their insides with stomach acid, then leave them for 2 weeks to digest. Nature's slow cooker. I wish I was a glowworm. A glowworm's never glum, cause how can you be grumpy when the sun shines out your bum? Fortunately this is a very unlikely death for a human being. Drowning is one of my worst fears. Drowning is a process that can take up to a few minutes before you pass out. Must feel like ages. As someone who has almost drowned twice when I was a kid, I can tell you that shit stays with you. That fear as you have water go over your head and try as you might you can't stay up. Being tortured. I just want a quick AHHH and lights out. Call it a day. Not even a AHHH, just a quick peekaboo take me out, a flying guillotine's blade straight to the back of the neck. Getting buried alive. This whole thread is making me extremely anxious. This has put my claustrophobia into high gear. Glad I'm up for work or I'd have horrid nightmares. Eaten by an animal, chances are you ain't dead yet. Edit. Holy doodle this blew up. I've only been here 48 hours lol. Thanks for all the gruesome stories. Guess I hit a nerve. Stay safe. Thanks everyone. My mom used to be friends with a lady who got lost on an expedition and was eaten alive by polar bears. They only found her shoe, with the food foot still inside, and a few other pieces, as well as her backpack. Because Velociraptor's a pack hunter, you see. He uses coordinated attack patterns and he is out in force today. And he slashes at you with this, a 6-inch retractable claw, like a razor, on the middle toe. He doesn't bother to bite your jugular like a lion. Oh no, he slashes at you here. Or maybe across the belly, spilling your intestines. The point is, you are alive when they start to eat you. Reminds me of a chapter in Life of Pi where the zebra is eaten alive. Although it's just fantasy, I remember being disturbed at how long the zebra took to die. Yep, as someone who lives on a farm this is a big concern. I have seen a bull eat 3 fingers off a farmer whilst at a show. Whilst usually the danger comes from them charging kicking you. They can bite you as well. As for your whole body being devoured, I don't think that is very likely at all. Fire. It would be worse to survive it. Put me down for no fire death, as well. Also, wouldn't be a big fan of being slowly crushed to death or stuck and starved to death under a collapsing building. Mother is a nurse and can say the burns unit sounded like a torture dungeon. I remember reading about this guy that fell into a pit of concrete powder, and he inhaled some of it. It set in his lungs, causing him to very slowly and painfully suffocate. Wet concrete is also a chemical reaction. He was burned to death, lungs first. Any of y'all remember that mission in GTA San Andreas when you push a portable toilet with a dude in it in a hole and fill the hole with concrete? Surviving a high-speed car crash only to come out of surgery, live in massive pain for 2 days and then your heart gives out from all the excruciating pain. Or surviving a fire but over half your body is covered in third-degree wounds, only to die weeks before being cleared to leave and having to spend all those years in the burn unit only to never see the outside world again. I had 4 spinal fusions and the last surgery they zipper cut my stomach down the middle. The pain was so excruciating that if I even so much as turned my head laying down my heart rate would spike. They had to sedate me several times because my heart rate would reach 160s 170s when they tried to move me. Being put in a big metal container naked then having the container get heated by a fire. It would be way worse than just being caught on fire. Radiation poisoning. 3.6 Ronchian. Just gotta pop a shitload of Rad-X, then you're golden. Edit. Yuri Petrova has pointed out you don't inject Rad-X. Fixed it to pop. Getting a sword stuck in my anus. That's oddly specific. Lava. It's a lot worse than movies make it look. Spicy honey. You wouldn't even be able to get close before burning up. The heat is that extreme. I have been near fully cooled hardened lava though. It's just black rock. Actually quite cool looking. Edit. My dumbus forgot the word for obsidian. It's so dense that you'd never sink in it. You'd just float on top while you burn to death. Mental illness driving me to commit suicide. I think more than anything on earth I'm scared of Alzheimer's. To me it's just so sad. You live a long, healthy life, with so many beautiful memories to just have them ripped away from you. You forget your so, then your kids, then everyone else, then what? You're alone in this world and you're stuck living with that hell. You die with nothing, no memories, no loved ones, as far as you know, and that is the most heartbreaking fucking thing to me. I'd rather die than deal with that. The hardest thing I've ever done was tell my great grandmother I love her and she doesn't even respond. I don't want to live through that, no fucking way in hell. This one is probably the biggest risk for me on this list. Smothered by a gang of puppies and then all of them trying to enter my body through my mouth. What? Diarrhea. Regular or explosive? Killed by someone I know. I don't want to spend the last minutes of my life with the conflicting thought of all the moments I lived with that person versus what they're doing to me at the moment. Fear, frustration, sadness, betrayal, pain. A girl I went to high school with was stabbed to death by her roommate when she was studying abroad. Sometimes I have nightmares about what she must have gone through in her last moments of life. It's morbid and terrifying. Plane crash. Edit. It's not how quick or slow death can be. OP is talking about the cause of death, not how painful it can be. A plane crash can be terrifying, especially if the plane disintegrates midair and you'll be thrown into a 30,000 feet free fall. And I don't want my family and friends to live with that. Yeah, I am with you on that. That feeling in your gut while you're descending and everyone's screaming. An erection lasting more than 4 hours. Talk about die hard. Imagine choked on a pee and die, and later people said you died a pitiful death and everyone took pity of you. May he rest in peace. Many obvious ones have already been said, so I want to share something different. You wake in the night hearing a noise downstairs and cautiously go to check it out. Your worst fears are realized when you find a man dressed in black with a balaclava on. Wanting to protect your wife, you charge at him. There's a scuffle and you find yourself pinned down as he stabs you several times, leaving you too weak to stop him harming your wife. With your last bit of energy you reach up and pull off his balaclava only to see the assailant was your closest friend. Then you see your wife stood on the stairs. "I'm sorry," she says coldly, "we only did it for the insurance payout." I hate being woken up while sleeping. Driving off a bridge into deep water. It's never happened to me, but for some reason the sound of a windshield cracking upon impact with water and the feeling of a seatbelt digging into my neck and hips pop up in my nightmares a lot. I have a hard time crossing bridges and vehicles, thanks to that. Dying from Alzheimer's. I've seen too many people in nursing homes and too many family members die from it. It hurts me now to think if I had Alzheimer's I'll forget the ones I love. I'll probably hurt them emotionally and physically. I might cheat on my so. People might say, yeah, but you won't know. But fuck that, I don't want it. I'm also taking care of my dad who has Parkinson's. It's another fucking awful way to die. To slowly lose control of your entire body. And you're just a prisoner inside your own head. And it's not an instant death. It takes years. Like that poor chick lost in the Odessa catacombs. Total darkness, panic, silence, and just slowly fading from lack of everything. Cannot imagine a more drawn out and miserable way to go. So sad. Cancer or any terminal illness. As someone with stage IV cancer, same. Edit. Thanks for all the encouraging messages. Didn't expect but definitely appreciate them. Respiratory distress. A couple months ago I was on a train when it stopped and asked all medical personnel to report to my car. I look back and a man is on the floor with his girlfriend sobbing. Everyone went quiet so I heard him gasp, "I can't breathe," and I was so scared I would witness this man's panic last breaths. After about 20 minutes they were able to get him stable enough to carry him off. Before I had never really thought of not being able to breathe as a terrifying way to die, but damn. Brain-eating amoeba. Dying alone and slowly from old age, after everyone I know is dead. Weirdly, that's my ideal way to go. I want to die after everyone I love so I know I'm not leaving anybody behind. Nice try, God. Cheese grater. Death by lathe. It's not so much for me as it is for the poor fuck who has to untangle me. Being dissected like cutting open your stomach and that stuff. Get hung by my Achilles tendons. Drowning. Fuck drowning. Acid rain. For that to kill you it would first have to go through your skin and bones to get to the vital organs. Depends on what kind of acid rain. The stuff here on Earth won't kill you, it's not near strong enough. It mainly wears away at stone and structures over a period of several years. The stuff on Venus though? That'll kill you horribly. Bleeding from my head because I sneezed while sleeping.